Hi. So there's a lot of things that I could say, but every day it's a focus on how can I be the best aspect of myself and what is it that I can share that might help someone out there. And one of the things I noticed that it's really important to, you know, control ourselves. Not like really keep us tight and not let yourself do anything, but specifically in life we get lots of triggers and emotional, physical. People do things we like or don't like, people say things we like or don't like, but some of the things can hurt, they can sting, and then we react to it. And yeah, emotional stuff will hit. There's being unrecognized, being unappreciated, putting in the effort and no one's seeing it, unacknowledged, or hey, you're misunderstanding, you're assuming things, and like justice and tons of things go into the factors. And so it's gonna go all over the place. But it's very important to catch yourselves and sort of like, there are key moments where the things you say and do can impact a lot of other like surroundings and what's going to happen later. But if you can catch yourself and control how you're going to react to it, you're going to change a lot of things. It's very important to see that, let's say, the worries, the fears, and other emotions that hit us, they're not serving us. And of course, yeah, that's logical. Like everyone sort of gets this. But when the moment comes up, it's really hard to not be in that place. And who am I to talk in tissue, right? Just a fucking kiddo. But still, like for me, from my experience, I'm learning, and every day I'm noticing that, hey, I'm getting a little handle of it. I'm not pro by far. I'm not perfect at it. I still need to put in the work. But once in a while, I see myself getting better and better at just controlling how I'm going to respond to things. And if I used to be like, seeing a lot of injustice within my family and how I was treated, and I wanted to be recognized and like, hey, like I want justice, I want equality, or like, hey, my stuff, your stuff, let's make it equal, not like it's all yours even though it's mine, like, like just going through the kid stuff. But then eventually, like, I learned that, or like I was living with a mindset for like 18 or 20 years that I don't have anything of my own. I can't have my own like opinion, and I have to listen to others. So like going through those little things I've learned that, oh, I am supposed to have my own opinion and I can have one. Oh my God. And how is it okay to express it? So like learning to get to that point where like I'm gonna say what I want to say. And I can say no and I can say yes. I don't have to wish a happy birthday to everyone on fucking Facebook and stuff. Like I can just choose what I want to do, and that's my thing. So I'm kind of going with it. And to a lot of people, it might seem like I'm insensitive, like I don't care, like I don't give a damn, like I'm egoistic, or like all the bad words you can put in the person. But for myself, I know is that it's better that way. It's better to love myself and control what I want to do and not. And specifically, I'm talking about certain situations like, okay, here it is, another story of me getting hit by a car. But I just admire that aspect of, people will react to things differently, and that is okay. But there are key moments where, you know, what will that stress or worries and concerns do for you or to you? Is it even worth, like, oh my God, what if, what if, what if? Those tons of what ifs and the stories you can spin to yourself, not knowing if it's ever going to come true, they're just there, and really, they're not serving you. They're kind of making it worse by the possibilities of any bad possible thing happening, and it's gonna like eat you from inside, so to speak. And learning that aspect of, we'll wait and see what happens, or like not giving into the bad things, but kind of like just going with the moment. And like I learned from Gary Vaynerchuk, like he had this video where he talked about gratitude and appreciation. And the thing, or the key thing that he said that stuck with me, is that it's really about the priorities and what's the most important to you. Like if in life for him he would lost someone he would love, let's say it would be his parents, it would be his kids, his wife, it would break him as a person. So when he looks at like what needs to happen until you feel like you really like hit it, like you really lost it and you can't take it any longer. And for him, it would be like, hey, if I lost this person, how did it make me feel? But it all falls apart. So everything else in that, lost the wallet. Fuck, like, like $100 gone or something, or my phone broke down or something happened. Like it was the funniest thing the other day where it just tons of things going sideways. People fixing the car I have, and then it just the little thing, like I don't know, like little tube, little pipe that goes to the gasoline tank, and all the gas goes out, and the car doesn't work again. It could have happened in the middle of a fucking highway in the middle of nowhere, but I got it down, and I got to safely like park it and leave the car. Like, okay, we're gonna pick it up and like get it fixed instead of fucking like it all can go sideways. And like learning to look at the situation in the way like, okay, it's bad, and I'm reacting to it because it's triggering me, and I can look at my own logic. But at this moment, how bad is it? Is it really, really bad, or I can handle it? And then I compare with if I have someone I love, let's say, like my dogs, how would it make me feel? Like devastated losing them, or like someone I really care about. What's the most precious thing to you in your life that if you lost it, it would really break you? When you look at that, then everything else is not as much of a trigger. And if that hasn't happened yet, if it's not like you're breaking down your reality, then the rest is pretty easy to handle, or at least like, it's not fun, it's not easy, it's difficult, but you can deal with it. And so for me, like I'm just learning to look at life where how bad is it on my own personal scale. You don't have to be like me. Your emotions are different. You have a different case. Everyone's different, and that's fine. For myself, I just learned that it is amazing to have a bit more control. Like I'm saying, I'm not perfect. I still react to things and all. But just like when you look at like, okay, if this person would die, it would make me feel like this, like really devastated or like lost, and I wouldn't know what to do, or like what the fuck, and all this emptiness would hit me. Yeah, that would be the case. But then anything else, any possible arguments, things people say, or like various daily life things, when that happens, it's like, could be worse. And so like learning with that, like learning to live with that for me personally is like really helping, like really helping to look at like different perspectives and maybe sort of like zoom out of the situation a little bit, not be in that moment of, oh fuck, someone said something, I have to react to it, I have to do stuff. But there's that few second moment where I can choose how to react, like could be worse, or damn it, and go right into it. And if I can choose like it could be worse, knowing my own priorities, my own values, and how I personally rate things, I'm like, oh well, I can handle it. Like, yeah, like I have to deal with this, but it's not as bad, so I don't have to I'll have all my emotions and feelings go into it and be sort of eaten up from inside. So I'm learning that. It's a work of art. It's not something you all have to do or anything. But personally for me, like it's really helping to handle a lot of situations. Like even uh, the history of my family, and like specifically my mom, as much as I love her, there are things she does that can really, really hurt. Like not necessarily she does what she says. Like she can be like in her own way thinking that, having the best intentions for me or for the family. She will say things that will sting, and like, oh, why did you have to say that? Like there are so many ways to go about it, and learning to like, it's her own thing. This is how she handles stuff. It's fine. For me, this is how I look at things, and like having those gaps of how I'm gonna react, and just sort of like, okay, it's your thing, and just not going into it, just not taking the bait. It's such a huge thing. It's a win every time you can handle it one way or the other. And like it's not easy, it's not fun, but it definitely work. It's like less triggers in your life, less fears or concerns, because you're in that present moment and able to look at things like, I don't know, more rationally, so to speak, not getting consumed by possible thoughts and then other things sort of like, oh, okay, we got them on the bait, now let's play with them, and like you don't get caught, so to speak. So if you have ways to handle those situations, what do you do? How did you get to that point? If you can sort of like, like where there's like conversations with people and relationships or various situations in life, do you have that like place where you can choose how you're going to react? You can sort of stop and like, yeah, there's a trigger, I'm aware of it, but, and take a moment to choose how you're going to react. If you do that, then please share your story, how you got to that point, what helped you out, what kind of tools you use, your own personal beliefs and all, because that might be like really helping out a lot of people. I know, like, personally for me, like, I wish I would have had it when I was younger. I know, like, I reacted to a lot of things just out of the unknown, like I don't know what to expect tomorrow or the next day, and that unknown and time was really getting in the way for me, like, for a lot of things. Like, there's like always life and of things happen, but like, I'm learning, like, every day there's a bit more to learn and do. So it's always a thing to work on, but hopefully you get the idea, you can reflect on it and either share your ways, or if you're on the other side of like, damn, yeah, like it would be great to learn that, but there's a lot of work, like for me too. Share what gets you triggered, what gets you going, what gets you caught up. Is it like, for me, it used to be like not having the control. Like, I like to be in control of my life, and I know I can't control my surroundings, but my life personally, it's a huge thing. And then also like the affection. One thing, the affection for people has been a huge thing for me for a lot of years. Pleasing people is still a thing. Like, I'm learning, like, oh, it's okay to say no. It's okay to excuse myself out of a conversation. It's okay to not wish everyone happy birthday because they're in a fucking family and all this stuff, because I don't want to call them, I don't want to talk to them, but like etiquette requires, or like someone in the family reminds, like, hey, call the person. Like, I don't want to. I was like, so like, I'm learning to, like, I don't want to, and I'm not going to do it. Like, think of me as an asshole and whatever, but it's I just like it that way better. So if you have those things, like, share what do you think triggers you. If you feel like you get caught up, if you feel like at times you don't have the full control, then what gets in the way? Is it like, it can be basic, and it can be some beliefs about life, yourself, people, and all the stuff. But feel free to share your story if you're like into it or not, whatever. And hey, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.